Welcome, welcome, welcome this afternoon. This is the Black Westchester Power Hour with AJ Woodson and Lorraine Lopez. Shout to David K. Jones, not here, and shout to Dr. Bob, who couldn't be here today. Today, we're back with a special edition talking to four students that go to Iona Prep that have a story that they want to tell. One at a time, introduce yourself, gentlemen.
My name is
My name is
Okay, Keyshawn first.
my name is Keyshawn McDowell. I know it's a Patrick right there. I go to
Okay.
Iona Prep High School. I'm a senior. I'm now graduating, and I will be going to college at Muhlenberg. I'll be going to Muhlenberg College in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Okay. Jordan.
My name is Jordan Dunbar. I'm a graduating senior at Iona Prep. I'll be attending Rice University in Houston next year.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Avery.
My name is Avery Turton. I'm a graduating senior at Iona Prep, and I'll be attending Union College up in Schenectady, New York, this coming fall.
That's what's up. Jair.
My name is Jair Michael, and I'm a senior graduate from Iona, and I'm attending Stonehill College in Worcester, Massachusetts.
That's what's up. That's up. College bound. That's what's up. That's what's up. So I'm gonna let y'all just go into what y'all want to talk about. Just tell everybody why we're here today. Who wants to go first?
Well, I'm gonna tell you why we're here. We're here because at this school, at Iona Prep High School, a lot of discrimination, a lot of things take place behind closed doors, and the number one thing that they fear is letting things come to light, letting things get out. Letting things get out at that school, because here's what they want. They want kids to come to that school, pay all their money to come to that school, but be treated like they're less. To be treated and to be called N-words. To have people and faculty think of us as something less. And I'm sick of it. For me, for 4 years, I've been going to that school. For 4 years, I just felt like my voice was silent. I had an incident with the athletic director. He told me to shut up and sit down like I was an animal. When I respectfully said I didn't like the way he was speaking to me, he got in my face like he wanted to fight. Look, if somebody is that close to you, you know when somebody's close when you have to back up. As I'm backing up, he continues to say, "Oh, you think that makes you a man? You think that this? You think that?" And then I told everybody, and then I told Iona that I felt threatened, and no true investigation was really done about that. They say that 40 people seen the incident, and if 40 people seen the incident, it's no way he wasn't recommended, not once. If 40 people seen that incident, someone would have spoke up for me. There's cameras all throughout that school. Nobody went to go check the cameras. They got a teacher to validate his story that says he was nowhere next to me, which he was. I don't have no reason to lie. And then on top of that, he said that he wanted me to apologize. For me, speaking my mind, to apologize. Because I taught back respectfully in front of everybody. If everybody seen the incident, how come nobody came forward and told what really happened? How come he wasn't recommended not once? And he said, if I feel like your apology, if I feel like it's not sincere, you still got the risk and the possibility of being kicked out the school and suspended for 7 to 8 games. There's only 8 games in the season. So that's my whole junior season right there. It's things like that. It's stories. There's so much stories out there that's left untold. I opened up my Instagram platform, my little following base that I have, and I let kids come in and I let kids tell their stories. And Mr. Wilson, I just want you guys to know, it just doesn't happen at Iona Prep. It happens at predominantly white schools and institutions everywhere. There's so many kids who have stories. There's so many kids who told me so much things about that school alone, about the school that they go to, about the sister schools that they go to right down the block. There's so much stories that's out there that's left untold because they say nobody will listen. They control the narrative. They want to make it he say, she say. There's never no proof. And then when we get proof, they want to do damage control. Well, now we're listening.
So what made y'all want to all come up? What made y'all want to speak now? Have this been going on? Go ahead.
Because for so long, because for so long, when people try to speak up about this, no one will ever listen. And when the whole thing happened, when our football player said some real hurtful stuff that was real insensitive. everybody was posting black screens in honor of George Floyd and everybody who lost their life because of police brutality.
Mm.
And then he said something real insensitive, called us animals, worms, nematodes at that.
Mm.
Because he felt like we shouldn't be posting it because he wanted to see supermodels instead of instead of black screens.
Mm-hmm.
It's things like that. For that to be, that's the culture that's developing there at Iona Prep. That's not talked about. That's the culture that's happening there at Iona Prep. In the football program, the basketball programs, the sports programs. It's so much that's going on that's not talked about. It's students and me personally as an alumni. I feel like I'm doing black kids, African American kids, and other minorities a disservice if I don't tell my story. If I don't tell a lot of people's stories. You go to that school and you're putting so much money into that school for a better education, to get better opportunities. But at what cost? To be racially discriminated towards against because of your skin color, because of how you look? At what cost, Mr. Wilson? And when will it stop? It's so much stories out there I can tell you for days. But I'm gonna let Jordan and them take it from there. I said my side. I don't want to talk all the time. You
Right,
guys,
right,
so
right.
I got to talk.
But you know what else too, AJ? They probably didn't feel they tried. You know what I mean? Now that they're heading to college, now they can speak without any type of retaliation against them too. They weren't safe speaking out. You see what happened when they tried.
That's how a lot of us feel. We feel that since we've graduated, we can really speak our minds. But a lot of kids who are still there in the program, they feel silenced and they feel they're too scared. Not too scared, but they just feel that it's a little risky to say stuff, and that can really affect your academic experience at the school. So that's what we're trying to speak up for, not just specific incidents, but kids who can't speak up for themselves.
Right. What about the other two? What about you guys?
And I was when the whole thing happened.
Since y'all in the same screen, let me know who's talking. Say your name because I don't know which.
Jair's talking.
Okay.
And then when the whole thing was happening, I was working out, so I didn't see what was happening initially. And then I didn't see how to respond, but somebody posted on Twitter about it, or multiple people, and then our coach asked us to take it down because it hurts the name of the school, and they don't want people looking at Iona and thinking it's a racist school. But then I seen people taking it down, and I felt like them being silenced. So that kind of made me want to step up and say something about it and post about it when I seen that happen.
So instead of addressing the concern, they just asked y'all to take it down so that the school won't get a negative reputation. That they say we'll handle it inside.
They said they'll handle it internally, but we don't really know what that means. And
we don't
really
like that happen. Because we feel like that's sweeping it under the rug, and since it was a public comment, we feel like it should be addressed publicly.
Absolutely. That's always my perception. When I deal with elected officials or whatever, if you make the mistake publicly, then I have to correct you publicly. You know what I'm saying? If you make the mistake behind closed doors, we can have that conversation behind closed doors. But if you publicly say it, then we have to have this conversation publicly. That's my
Let me ask the question. With all the incidents that have gone on, has the school ever admitted to any of them and issued an apology to any student?
No.
Wow.
No, Mrs. Lopez, they feel like when the students speak when the students speak their mind, when the students respectfully speak up for themselves, they're being disrespectful. So no, they would never issue an apology. The only reason why they issued an apology to Tank and for his whole situation with the student who posted what he said about us is because a girl brave enough and not just Jair, a girl brave enough to screenshot it. A white girl at that, brave enough to screenshot it and post it to Twitter, and everybody was retweeting. Because that's the only reason why we actually got an apology. That's the only reason why parents were emailing. More videos surfaced of a white kid saying the N-word. Now a public statement was issued, nor was our parents' email about that video of the white kid saying the N-word.
Was he
on the
disciplined
football field at that?
Was he disciplined? Was he suspended? Was he anything?
Not to my knowledge.
But he said it in full view of the coaches and everybody, or?
You saying, yeah, and it just so happened he was being recorded, and that's not the first time he did it. That was the first time he was being recorded saying it.
Now it is, yeah.
That's not the first time he did it. That's the first time he's being recorded saying it, and that's the thing right there. They like to, sweep things under the rug. They handle it in house. We don't want the school getting a bad look. No, this is the reputation of the school, and it's not just the students; it's the faculty as well.
Oh yeah,
it's some of the faculty as well.
Yeah. That was what I was gonna ask. So we can get a whole feel of the culture of the school, the administration, and the teachers as well.
Yes.
When you speak to the teacher, they
so
want to hush everything out.
Look, one teacher.
Go ahead.
One teacher. And alumni and alumni players. Remember, I said I opened up my platform for people to come on there and tell their stories. The alumni came back, and he said, "Thank you for what you're doing. You're finally giving us a voice, because for so long we've been silenced. For so long nobody would listen to us. For so long it was always he said, she said." So a teacher said, and they just so happened they was in global studies, and they was learning about not global studies, history class, but they was learning about monkeys or whatnot, an animal. And the teacher said to two black kids, "Well, which one are you taking to prom?"
Say that again. Said what?
And the teacher said to two black kids about the monkey, "Which one are you taking to prom?"
Which one are you taking to prom?
Yes. Let me give you one better. The same teacher told two black kids to get to the back of to get to the back of the classroom. And as they was walking, he was like, "Yeah, get to the back of the bus." This happens throughout that school, and not enough people and not enough people feel afraid to come up and talk about this, because nobody will believe them. And that's why I said, this is why I'm doing this. This is why my brothers is doing this as well, because Jordan Dunbar, Avery Turton, Zaire Michael, these are my brothers. These are why we doing this. Not just because we're seniors. We're doing this because, as black kids, sometimes this is our last option. We come to this school for a better education. We come to this school to get looked at. But at the same time, at what cost? We got to come to this school and be treated this way? And how we're going to handle things in-house. We're going to handle things. When President Trump first got elected, a group of white kids were going around the school calling us the N-words. A white boy came up to my friend, who's African-American, and told him to go pick cotton. It's so much. It's so much that goes on.
Now, so the stuff is, just so I'm clear, the stuff is being reported and the administration is not doing anything?
Well, what I'll say is it's kind of, where a lot of these incidents, I've never seen any of these incidents get taken with severe punitive action, or however you may call it. And for us, it's hard to go to administration, because the same way with Keyshawn's incident, they'll say it's my word versus your word. These kids will do the same thing, and they're just so big, and it's a daily. The sad thing is, it's a daily thing. It's nothing new for us. That's why people are surprised to hear it. But unfortunately, for all of us, we're not. When we hear and see these things online, or kids belittling us or saying hurtful things, we're used to it. Unfortunately, we see it all the time, so it's not surprising.
And there's no one for us to go to talk to. There's no black teachers, administration for us to talk to about this. And we don't feel comfortable talking to anybody, really. And they're not going to do anything.
Those of us, so for people that are watching, where is Iona Prep located at?
Iona Prep is located in New Rochelle.
Really bordering Westchester, very close.
Yeah. Have y'all told your parents, and were they able to get involved in any kind of way? Or
the funny thing I'll say, I don't know if I can speak for everybody in this group, but a lot of things we don't really talk about after school. We just hear it or see it at school. And then I never went to my parents. My mentality was, I'm trying to get this education and use it to my best advantage and get out. And unfortunately, I wasn't always able to enjoy my time because of certain incidents. A lot of times, especially in honors classes or whatever it may be, I may be the only African-American kid in the class. So when we're speaking on, for example, one day we were debating stop and frisk. And the amount of kids that agree with stop and frisk and the stereotypes that it perpetuates or whatever, it was crazy because there were kids who were like trying to justify it by saying, oh, these people are responsible for 70% of the crime, so I agree with stop and frisk and it should be done. And you just feel like you're drowned out. You can't really argue with them because you're the only kid in that classroom. That was my experience.
And you know, Mr. Wilson, I'll say it's disheartening because my mom, she knowing about one incident that happened, the incident that I just told you about, when I respectfully told the athletic director that I don't like the way he was speaking to me. When he told me to shut up and sit down, then pointed to, and then pointed to the seat like I was an animal. But not even just that. When I respectfully spoke up for myself, he also kicked me out of school. And then here's how the system there, I think personally, is corrupt. Because at the end of the day, he has a son. He has a son named Ryan Mahoney. And his son is the dean of students at the school. And when we went there to go talk about our incident, his son was eager and quick to take his side. No true investigation went into this. When I said that I felt threatened, no true investigation went into this. When I said, check the cameras, talk to the students, they said, well, the teacher said. I said, talk to the students. They said, well, the teacher said. The teacher said that he was nowhere next to you. They don't want to talk to the students. Oh, students lie, but the teacher won't lie. Nothing was done about my situation at all. My mother, she sat right there and she watched him pretend to really write down a statement. No statement was truly written down, not in my opinion. He could have been writing circle, and anything else. But I tell you what happened. When that paper, when we left that office, that paper went in the garbage. They made it my word against his. And then after, they painted me out to be the bad guy. I have not had one, and I'm a respectful kid. I'm well-spoken, and I'm well-spoken for and highly spoken of by many of my peers and coaches and teachers. I'm a respectful kid. So for them to try to paint me as being this kid who has anger management problems, you know what they made me do? I had to go see a counselor for a month because they said I had anger management issues. Because I spoke my mind, Mr. Wilson.
So just so I'm clear, and I want everybody who's listening to be clear, there's a behavior of, this is a regular behavior that students just start to accept that that's just the way it is because nothing is done. Like it just becomes, oh, that's just the way it is, or that's just normal, and y'all just try to navigate your way through it because y'all have nowhere to report it or anything to get done by it. So it becomes like that's just the cost of doing business for us to go to this good school and be recognized and go on to college as opposed to some public school. Y'all almost feel like y'all have to accept it. Like y'all just.
Mr. Wilson, look, let me tell you. Here's how they think of it. I'm gonna give you one better. God rest my brother's soul. I carry his ring, his UCF ring, because he went to a D1 college and he went to and he got a ring. So I carry his ring around my neck all the time. God rest his soul. He passed away. This is what my football coach and counselor said to me. He asked me about what happened. I said, I don't want to talk about it. It's an open investigation. He said, oh, yeah, because I didn't really read up on it, but I thought the police did it. I'm trying to say all black kids, and how I took it as all black kids get killed by the police. That's what you've seen? That's what you mean by that? You're supposed to be my coach and my counselor at that. You feel me? It's things like that, and that's how they think about this. And it's little things that they say. Just things like that. Now, I was feeling down at the time. I was feeling so bad at the time when I lost my brother. And things like that, you think, oh, you thought the police did it. What are you trying to say about my brother? You feel me? It's things like that. And my brother was highly speaking of too. The first person to ever do it from Mount Vernon, the first person to put on from Mount Vernon, the first person to go to UCF, and have every D1 school from Mount Vernon. So for you to say something like that, and you know him, and you know who I am and why I do this, it's disheartening, Mr. Wilson.
Who said that again? Who said that again so we can be clear?
The coach, and the coach/guidance counselor. He's the coach/guidance counselor.
And he's white, of course, yeah. They're all white, yeah.
let me ask you a question. What would you like to see done? I know we want to get the word out, but beyond just getting the word out, what would y'all like to see happen here?
I got one thing. One thing, in my opinion, is like we said it earlier in a different interview, is probably faculty a lot more diversity, because a lot of these kids,
I can talk, you
they
know.
may have never came from or seen a diverse background, and this is their first time really going to school with, I guess, other Black kids, even though there's not that many of us, but really having a more diverse faculty. Because me, during my time at Iona, I never had one Black teacher. Honestly, the only minority teacher I had was I took Mandarin, and my teacher was Chinese, and she was from, yeah, as I said, from China. So definitely having a more diverse faculty, that would help.
Wow. How I want to just paint a picture. How are your grades? And how are y'all doing? How are y'all doing in school? Like, what kind of students were y'all?
I had first honors throughout all 4 marking periods, and I was the A student for this whole semester, for this whole 2 semesters that we had.
I've been in the honors program since my freshman year, and I've been maintaining a 92 average, and I'm an A student as well. I've been on first honors and second honors throughout my whole career at Iona.
So me, I'm like an AB student, maintaining like an 85 average throughout high school.
That's what's up.
And for me, I was straight A's basically throughout my entire time at Iona. I was always on the honor roll, and I took various honors and AP courses.
I did that purposely because, well, one, we're Black Westchester, so, but two, like the perception of our youth and the way that the media usually creates a narrative about your age group. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are all out of control. Y'all all wilding, pants sagging. Y'all are thugs. We need to see that, and kids also need to see. You know what I'm saying? And we need to hear that. And I wanted to, and I assume that was the case with y'all when I asked the question. I want the people to know y'all not just some knuckleheads that just got mad because y'all didn't get your way and y'all got in trouble in school, or you know what I'm saying? Y'all were just whatever. Y'all are some good kids that got good grades, that did your thing, was going to a good school. Y'all got a good head on your shoulders. Y'all are not just some knuckleheads that just complaining about the system. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to get that out. I don't know if anybody else has ever really asked y'all that, but I wanted people to see and hear that part of the story. What now? Is there anything I didn't ask y'all that y'all want people to know about what's going on, or any of this?
I want people to know that there's so much stories out there that's not told, and it's not just us. Every time we want to tell a story, they try to get in front of it first, flip the narrative, and try to take things out. There's so much kids that come up to me since I've been since I opened up the live on my little platform that I do have on Instagram. Since I opened up the live, there's so much kids who came up to me. Thank you for this. There's so much kids. Thank you. Like finally, we have a voice. You're the first to ever do this. You're the first to speak up about the situations that go on in the school. For so long, situations have been going on in the school, and it's unspoken of. Alumni go through it, and it's unspoken of because it means I feel like they brainwash us in a way because, well, we can't say nothing. Nobody will believe us. So at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, why speak up now? What took you so long? You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
It's things like that. It's a system that needs to be broken at that school. There's so many minorities that go to that school, and it's not even just that school, Mr. Wilson. I'll go one step farther. It's the sister school down the block from me, Ursul. It's the predominantly like Catholic schools, boarding schools. A girl came on my live and on Instagram, and she told a story how she had a disagreement with a white girl, and her parent, she called the office, and 5 minutes later, that girl who was African American, she was kicked off the team.
Word? Without asking her side, it was just, you know, I mean, when I was in school, you had a fight or disagreement, both people got in trouble. Like, you know what I'm saying? We both got suspended. Like, you know, just for one person.
She was recommended.
So nothing.
She was recommended. So that,
and nothing happened to the other girl.
No. And that's the story that she told in my life. And that's the story that she told. You see, it's things like that that happens in these schools that, and this is their favorite word. Mr. Wilson, look, let's handle it internally. Let's handle it in-house.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Like this is going on. And like I said, I feel like I'll be doing a disservice to kids out there, to African American kids who are coming inside the school, not knowing all the facts. These are the facts. Make your decision wisely. I want you to know before you give before you give this school your money, make your decision wisely before you come here. And not just that, I'm doing this because change. It's time for a change to be made. Now, 6 months ago, this would have been politically incorrect. Me doing all of this, me speaking out, this and that. It'd be like, oh, it's he said, she said. That's not true. But now it's so much stories out here that's coming up, and here's what they want to do. They're doing damage control. They're calling people, oh, this isn't true. I don't want you to feel like I'm trying to silence you. We're so long. We've been silenced. We're so long. We have so much stories, and it's not told, Mr. Wilson. It's really not.
Now you mentioned, hold on real quick. You mentioned you're from Mount Vernon. Where's everybody else from?
Yes.
Where's everybody else from?
I'm from White Plains, New York.
Okay.
I'm from Yonkers, New York.
Okay.
Hollow, New York.
Okay. So no, because I was, there's a perception. What appears to me, they're looking like, even though y'all pay a lot of money, your parents pay a lot of money for you to go, like they're doing you a favor by you being in their school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As opposed to the public school system, like not that you're not paying for it, not that you got a student scholarship and they're paying your run like in college or something, but they're doing you a favor, and you should be appreciative of where you are and play your position. And
That's a big thing, because for a lot of us, that's why a lot of kids don't speak up, because even for me, like my public school, not really known for athletics, and academically, Iona is just supposed to be a premier school. So if you mess up at Iona, or if they don't like you and they throw you out, it's really a hard, long road. So for a long time, I just said, I'm going to keep my head down, finish through, and get to college, and that's what it was.
Be quiet. And to add to what Dunbar is saying, like, that's what I speak at home, like I'm talkative and whatnot. But for me, I just feel like I have to be in the shell, because if I say something the wrong way to somebody, they're gonna look at me and tell me in a negative way. Like another incident happened even after that incident. I said a teacher's name. She was the dean of academics, and all I said was, I get extra time on the test. It just so happened, and it's funny how things work. I have to go over and I have to go take another test. But this teacher, he's gonna give me the extra time. And she was the teacher of that classroom, because I was walking into another classroom. I was walking to her classroom because the other teacher had to leave. She called me out. She called me outside the classroom. She started yelling, "You don't know my name, this and that. You have no right to say my name. I don't know you. You don't know me." All because I said her name. But look, my mother, she taught me, respect women, no matter what. You know what she tried to say? I got too close to her. She feared me, this and that. They was trying to paint me to be somebody who I'm not. I'm not that person, Mr. Wilson. Oh, I'm sorry for the background.
No problem. No problem. It is what it is. Yeah.
Go ahead, Lorraine. What I'm trying to say, it's very interesting and it's very important. First of all, anybody that's watching this video, please share it. Please share it. But something very interesting that we got to also keep in mind as far as this school. Almost every politician's child in Westchester County goes to this school. They are paying, they're giving donations, and anybody, and all these wealthy white kids, their parents are, are funding the school. They're giving big donations to these schools.
I was looking through the comments real quick. There's a gentleman that said he's sending y'all love from Ireland. I don't know.
Thank you.
He's in Ireland watching this, but
Thank you.
But yeah, because it's again, it's like stay in your place. Like it's a dangerous position when you start stunting the growth of young men and women. You know what I'm saying? And not letting them express themselves. You should not have to go to school and worry about everything you say and worry about walking on eggshells. And your parents are paying a large fee that pays these teachers' salaries. You understand what I'm saying? And they're acting like they're doing you a favor and you should stay in your position. And
that's a big thing. Like, sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, that's like what you're saying is a big thing, especially for African American men who go to Iona. If you ask any of us, we'll say that's the saddest thing for me is like for high school. I don't want to say I didn't enjoy my experience because my friends and my brothers in this chat. That's why I enjoyed it because at the end of the day, we had a hard, long day. Like I could go talk to them and laugh with them, but I didn't enjoy the actual experience. And all these things that we're talking about right now is a big factor of why I didn't enjoy it. It's really the main reason why I didn't enjoy it. Like we didn't have the typical high school experience a lot of kids had. Like it wasn't that fun. It wasn't that enjoyable. You had to really watch what you say at all times, and that's just not how things should be in my opinion.
And in spite of that atmosphere, look at you guys. Look at your grades.
Y'all still strive. Y'all still.
Yes.
We still shot it through because my thing was like, and my brother always told me when he was here, and a lot of people doubted him too because he was a big kid and he was outspoken as well, and a lot of people doubted him, and he said people gonna doubt you, people gonna say things, and people are gonna try to hurt you in every way, every shape, or form, but he was a role model to me because he still got through it. He still got his degree. He still went to college, and he still graduated college. And everybody said that he wasn't even gonna make it out of the hood. It's things like that, and I strove. I take things like that with me. I take stories with me, and I think about it, and then I try to motivate myself. Well, they said this, family. Well, don't let them and what they're doing bring me down. I can do it. I know I can do it. When I first got into that school, no one thought that I was gonna be here my senior year because my transcripts at my last school wasn't as good. No one thought that I can keep up with the other kids. I proved it wrong. I kept my head in my books. I strived 24/7. You saw me in the library every day, and coaches can vouch for this. Some can. Coach Jerry can. I'll call him out on this one. He can vouch for this. You saw me in the library every day. He said he always used to come up. What you doing? Homework, studying. I got to get my grades up. It's things like that. You feel me? They don't think that we could do it all the time. They doubt us.
So to talk about that too, how were you able to still find the strength or whatever to continue to get your good grades, to play ball, to do everything you needed to succeed in an atmosphere that was not conducive to your success?
I got the strength just by looking at my hometown. Like me, general. I'm not talking bad about my hometown, but like I wanna get out of it. I wanna get out of here. I want my family. I wanna put my family in the best situation ever. I want my family to see the world. There's so much world out there to see. I want my family to see things. I want my family to live large. I want my family to, be in a good situation. But they don't have to worry about money. They don't have to worry about buying the kids anything for Christmas. I thought about stuff like that. I looked past all the negativity. I had tunnel vision. You couldn't tell me anything after that. After all the incidents, they trying to paint me out to be something that I'm not. I'm like, Keyshawn, you need tunnel vision right now. You have to look at the brighter, and you have to look at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is, why are you doing this? Why are you here? Why would you continue to still be here? And that's what I did. I used and I strive 24/7 every day. I used the knowledge that was taught to me by my mother, by my brother, and I strived every day to be better than what they try to paint me out to be something that they try to pay. Something more than what they try to pay me out to be.
Okay, y'all gotta lower your voice.
So continue.
No, go ahead. Did you want to say anything?
Yeah, so I was gonna talk about the reason why I came to Iona.
Yes.
So I mean, I'm from White Plains, and White Plains High School. You know, that's not a bad school. It's a good school. Like my public school, they have good education and all that. But I just felt like Iona would give me a better opportunity in all aspects, not just athletically, also academically. And I felt like I would be able to focus on myself more if I went to this private school, and I did. It helped me a lot. I grew as a person tremendously, but in spite of those positives, because there's endless positives about Iona, because my experience was great. Just the few negatives really hurt because of it's not just it's not just about or like something I can just brush off. This like I have to live with this as a black man throughout my whole life, and the fact that my white counterparts, they wouldn't understand because they're white. Like I don't expect them to understand what it means to be a black man in society, but I just want them to understand where I'm coming from and the fact that it's nothing to take lightly, because in just in general we need to just communicate to each other and not just be ignorant and just call it how it is. Like, oh, he's on that side, I'm on this side. Like, no, we need to come together and just talk about situations and try to make this world a better place. And you know, Iona, I hope they're going to, from this, I hope they just strive towards that and just hopefully talk more about it, create different organizations within the school to address these topics, because Iona is a great school. I had a great time there, and they put me in a great situation going to Union College. But within the system and within the school, there just needs to be a few things that need to be addressed and just talked about, because that really hurts our minorities at the school.
Absolutely.
I think
Go ahead.
I'll say my little part about why I went. So kind of like in the middle, but Avery and Keyshawn both said like Sleepy Hollow. First of all, my family moved down from Syracuse and down here because Westchester is really supposed to be prominent public schools. So my local school, Sleepy Hollow, it has this very positive parts and a little bit of negative kids. So my mom and my dad, they moved to
It's hard to hear you. It's hard to
Keyshawn,
hear
can
you.
you mute your phone? Keyshawn, can you mute your phone? Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically they want me to go here in this environment that's like super positive, and a lot of the kids that I grew up around and working out with, they went to Iona too, and I always looked up to them. So I looked up to them, and now ever since 6th, 7th grade, I was like, okay, that's where I really want to go. And when I actually got there, like Avery said, there's a lot of great kids, not just great black kids, great kids of all races, and they're positive teachers. But like the negatives for me were like just the things that I heard on a daily basis and just went through, just made me not really want to finish, but just finishing for my parents to make them proud, to make myself proud, and not to be hopping around different high schools and really get into a great university. That's what so I wanted to be a positive example to kids, not just who lived around me, but anywhere, to be like, you can go through here, you can face all these obstacles, but you can still push through and be a great example for your community in your area. And that's what I did.
So let me ask you another thing I was thinking about. So since y'all said y'all kind of really don't take it out of the school, the story y'all telling here and whatever other media y'all get, your parents are just hearing about this for the first time?
Yes. My dad is, it's weird because yes, this is the first time my dad is hearing about this specific issue. My dad, he didn't really want me to die on that person. He agreed. I actually went to a different place.
You got to face the phone because we can barely hear you, Jordan.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, to summarize it like this, my dad always knew these type of things going on at Iona because he knew the type of kids who were at Iona. Like you guys were saying earlier, it's certain kids who come to Iona, a lot of them are from very affluent backgrounds, lot of them didn't never really interact with Black kids before. So that's the biggest thing that me, and then like not really telling my parents because they didn't hear about these specific issues, but they always that there are some things happening because my dad would come to me and talk about a lot of things. He's like, I know they're doing this at your school. I know they're saying that. I can tell that these kids are here this. So I feel like all of us, I can't speak for everybody, but all of our parents, they hadn't heard about these specific issues. They just had to know because that's how these kids are.
Avery and Jair, is this your parents are hearing about this?
You wanna go first?
Yeah, like you feel like at risk when you like say things and like I things and then hold it inside. I don't really talk much about them because it's not something I like to talk about or want to have to talk about in the world. And then I know if I told my mom, she would flip, go crazy, do something that I probably wouldn't want her doing because it would put me at risk. And I don't think she like understands what actually goes on and what could happen. So I haven't really. This is the first time she's hearing about a lot of things.
Wow.
I agree with Jair on that. My mom, I don't really go home like after whatever I go to school. She asked me how my day was. I tell her, the usual. It was fine. I don't really go into detail like if I had an encounter or if something happened that I didn't like. I wouldn't go and tell her everything that happened, and because I would, like Jair said, he would hold it in. I would just kind of just like brush it off, just move on to the next thing, and just start the day again. But yeah, this is the first incident that she's really heard about, and I know, like even if I told her I saw something and someone said this, that she'll take it more personally and try to like do something that I wouldn't want her doing, like what Jair said. But I mean, I just tended to brush it off and just move on. But I guess that was the wrong approach in some situations. Like this, I'm glad that I'm speaking out about what's happening right now because if I didn't, if you wouldn't come out here and speak about it right now, then it would just happen in 10 years. Like each class coming in, same thing would happen. So. I mean,
Are y'all worried? Are y'all worried about telling your story now that y'all might make it worse on some of the students that are there now? Or
No,
not at all. We're speaking for them.
Doing them a favor here.
Doing them a favor because we know if they came right here and we're speaking, not bashing Iona, just speaking about how they feel, that they might be reprimanded when they go back to school because they have another year, or they might be treated a little differently because people might think like, oh, you're just talking bad about Iona, this, that, and the third, so why? So we're doing this for them, not only for us, but for them and for just everybody around the whole country, because it's not just our school, it's schools in the next state, it's everywhere, it happens everywhere. So it's not just for us, we're speaking for them.
in closing, if you could speak directly to the administration, to the teachers, to those that run the school, what would you say? And again, what would you like to see done? Now, I'm gonna make some phone calls after we have this. So even if y'all don't feel comfortable enough to name names on live, y'all can let me know, and I know who to reach out to.
I would name names. First thing first, to Brother Lito, to Ryan Mahoney, to Bernard Mahoney. What I like to see is just you try to get a feeling and understand the kids, understand where the kids is coming from. When kids talk, and I'm not saying it's all right for kids to talk back, but when the kid feels that he's being disrespected, when the kids feel that you made them feel less of themselves, you say, look, they say they want respect, but doesn't respect go both ways? That's what I just want to know. When a kid feels that way, and when a kid is trying to speak up for himself, it shouldn't be looked upon as talking back to an authority figure. It should be looked upon as trying to understand your kids, trying to understand where we come from. Not all kids are the same. And Iona is diverse, but it's predominantly white for the most part. I want to see more a lot of Black history. There's no Black history that goes on in that school. We learned about slavery, we learned about everything else, but there's no true Black history. We don't have a chapter dedicated to Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks. It's so much Black advocates that's out there. We don't have no chapter dedicated to them. All we do is learn about presidents all the time. I understand prejudice is okay. You know, it's good to learn about. I mean, it's good to learn about what they did, but it's so many more Black advocates. We need to do more things for Black History Month. We need some Black speakers to come to this.
Right.
We need more diversity, and I'm not trying to say all teachers are bad, but most of them are. I'm not trying to say all teachers say racial things, but most of them do. And there are a lot of good teachers out there that will have our back to the fullest. But at the same time, you gotta also understand that's their job on the line. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What I want to say also, and closing out, the staff. It should be more diversity on the staff. The staff is predominantly white, and it's only one Black coach / teacher on the staff. We had two, but one went away for a better opportunity. So we need more diversity on the staff for your African American students, so they can have a place where they can talk to someone who they can feel like they understand that problem. Because somebody said it true, and somebody said it first. Not everybody understands, and my mother said it to me too. No one will truly understand what you go through unless they experienced it and lived it for themselves. Nobody understands how it feels to go outside and walk with a hoodie on and be stopped by the police because I fit a description. The only description that I felt, and the only description that I fitted was me being Black with a hoodie. The only thing that they saw was my skin color and not my true face. They never got a chance to know who I was. Oh, because I fit a description. No one understands how it feels to walk outside your house, get in your car, and have to pray to God that you see your bed again. And have to pray to God that you don't run into a police officer. That anxiety that people feel, no one understands that. They don't understand that at that school. Get to know your kids. Get to know where we're coming from. A change needs to be made. People are now speaking up about this, and when I first came into school, I felt like I was cheated in a way. Because I felt like there's so much that went on in this school, and me personally, I didn't know about. But this is why I'm doing this too. I'm doing this for the kids so I can have and so y'all can know all the facts. We put it out there. We put resolution out there. Now the ball is in their court. What do?
What would the rest of y'all like to see, or if y'all could speak directly to administration or your coaches, or what would you say?
Wait, can you repeat that one more time?
What would you like to see done, and if you could speak directly to the administration or specific teachers or administrators, what would you say to them? What message do you have for them?
First, I was gonna.
Yeah, you go.
I would say that piggybacking off of what Sean said about learning about
Everybody who's not talking, mute your phone for a minute. I know there's like a lot of wind and stuff, so it's hard to hear sometimes.
I'm going to mute it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I was gonna say piggybacking off of what Sean said about how tend to learn about slavery.
It's still kind of hard to hear though.
Can you hear me now?
Stick it to this.
Can you hear me now?
Much better, yes.
Okay, so I was saying how we should, in the month of February, we need to take more action in learning about our Black history, because during Black History Month, when I was in the African American Society, that's one topic we talked about. We tried to do something, but it wasn't really prominent, and I just know that to educate the rest of our white counterparts and just everybody in the school, not just white people, just even Black people, because a lot of Black kids don't even know their own history. So just during the month of February and just year round, honestly, learn about more Black history, not just about our ancestors 400 years ago when we were enslaved, just about every aspect, all the positives, because there's more positives than negatives. And we just need to learn about our Black history.
So you don't even feel like you get a sense of real Black history during Black History Month?
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
Anything.
No. I got more. I learned more about my Black history in elementary school and middle school than I do in high school during Black History Month, for sure.
We did absolutely nothing, honestly.
Hmm.
But that's just me being honest.
No,
Because it's not
that's yeah.
like you said, like it's not even like we're just a bunch of angry kids who got kicked out or something. Like we really were a good example of the program, and even the coaching staff would tell you that, especially for us four, we never really got in trouble. I never got in trouble. None of us really got in trouble. We had great grades. We were motivated in the classroom, but like that's just how it was. And I feel like personally for me, what I would do, like Keyshawn said, definitely more diversity in the classroom. Like Avery said, for sure we don't do enough in Black History Month at all. And third, like we were speaking about earlier, when kids say racist things or hurtful things, it needs to, especially in public, it needs to be addressed in public. It can't just be swept under the rug as an internal issue. That's wrong. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, and that's wrong. And they've been calling our parents and trying to have kids calm down, it seems like, and that's also wrong. Like, you need to accept the fact that this was one of your students and that he said something not only wrong, but that was just disgusting and hurtful. And it needs to be addressed publicly because he said it publicly. And when that is done, I feel like they took a step in the right direction.
This more and my fault, John. I'm gonna cut you off. I can even add. It's like this. It's things set my way all the time since I've been doing the little live shows and letting people come in and tell their stories. A white kid. He and his name is Jackson Solomon, I believe. And he sat right there. He took a picture of his face, and on Snapchat he drew on his face, and he made himself. He drew like alright, so he drew on his face, and then after like it was like he was black. You feel me? So he drew like on his face and whatnot, and then it read because I am, like he was black. You feel me? Like trying to be blackface. It's things like that.
Blackface.
Now that's exactly. Now and that's racist. That's
Yeah.
bluntly racist. It's no ifs and buts about it. It's racist. Iona Prep, and when the tank incident happened, when our teammate, his name is Tank, and he went on there and he said something so insensitive because of because of us posting black screens and whatnot, because he wanted to see supermodels, called us worms and called us worms and all that. When that thing happened, Iona Prep went on their page, went to their settings and made it so like, because when people at Iona Prep on Twitter, it should pop up. None of our ads are popping up on their page. They turned off the comments on their Instagram. So parents are outraged. I'm speaking for the parents too. Parents are outraged because parents don't understand. Parents don't know that this happened. They turned off their comments because they didn't want people speaking bad about the school. You don't want people speaking bad about the school, but how about this? I do you one better. Fix the issue. It's an issue going on. People will have to speak bad about the school if you nip the issue. If you already nipped the issue in the bud already. But y'all handle things internally, and kids notice, and kids know, like, all of this, it will never get out. So it will never tarnish their reputation in reality. But here's a time with kids from every school, and I know it just doesn't happen at mine. It happens at a lot of schools. This is the time for you guys to come forward and tell your stories. Tell it to your friends, tell it to your dad, tell it to your father. We're all here for you. I'm here for you. Your friends are there for you. Mr. Woodson, Mrs. Lopez, come to them. They'll listen. It's a time for everybody to come and speak their minds. Because for so long we've been censored. And when will it stop? When will it end?
Lastly, what would you say to students that are there to be able to navigate through that while it's things like this don't change automatically. Like just because we did this, tomorrow everybody's gonna be good. So what advice would you give to either kids on their way there or kids that are there now,
I'd probably say if you're there now, that can be a tough situation because a lot of kids, like we said earlier, feel like if they speak up, they'll get reprimanded. And by reprimanded, I don't mean like a teacher's gonna go and yell at you. I mean like you might feel like you might have to suffer in a way, either athletically or academically, by getting treated differently. I guess my best advice to somebody who's there right now is just keep like breaking the narrative of black men and keep succeeding and striving the same way we did, and not just be like us, but be better than us. But when something wrong happens like this, just like, I guess really don't, if you can, don't advocate sweeping it under the rug. Because like I said earlier, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. You can't side with things like this, and you can't advocate for a program that's treating kids incorrectly. Now, for kids who are coming into the school, be aware of what you're coming into, because like Avery says, it's not a terrible place to be, but you're going to encounter situations and scenarios that are going to make you angry, especially if you've never been in an environment like this before. Luckily for me, I went to Catholic school before I got here, so I knew exactly what to expect. But you're going to hear mean and hurtful things, unfortunately. That's just the reality of the situation. But just be cognitive of how you react to certain things, because you will and may definitely get treated differently. Like Keyshawn said, like when certain times we feel like we've gotten in trouble, not in trouble, but confronted for certain things, we feel like when other kids did the same thing, they didn't get the same punishments or the same reactions. So that's a big thing. Just be aware of where you're going and where you are and who you're around. That's the best thing I can say.
I like to say, speak on, well, I know that, the new president of our school is African American. He's Black, Tyler Brown, and I'm pretty firm in my belief that he will help change come in our school. And one thing I would say that to like the underclassmen and the rising upperclassmen is that the African American Society Club, is very important. It went dead for like my freshman year, my sophomore year, but they need to keep it running, and more members need to be a part of it, and that could really help the whole school. And just organizations in the school just need to come together and just start making a little bit more of a change. But definitely more members of the African American Society need to rise. The members need to rise, and I'm pretty sure the president, Tyler Brown, is going to make a change at Iona, not only just with blacks, but like just in general with all the students. So I'm pretty sure he's in the right direction right now. So I'm glad he's the president.
But we're gonna make sure he gets this video.
Yes.
Yeah, the last thing I'll say is like Avery said, that's a huge thing, is the African American Society. My junior year was pretty good, but my senior year, when we had a black counselor, and when he left for a better job overseas, like I tried to return to the club this year. It was like, I don't want to say it was a joke, but like we tried our best to organize it, but it's hard when you don't
There's no
have
like leadership, no
exactly,
real
there's no
teacher
leadership.
that wanted to do it for us and help us.
It's like, what are we doing in the club? Like, it didn't feel like it was really had any direction or purpose. And we're seeing now its purpose probably should be obvious right now, since we have racism in our own school. As much as people hate to admit it, that's something that they really can work on fixing for a long-term goal. And hopefully that's what I would like to see the club do.
I wanna applaud all of y'all first off for being bold enough to stand up and to speak out. I also want to applaud y'all for the location y'all decided to do it at, in front of the Martin Luther King statue, at the courthouse. I think that was a bold choice and very good optic. And for everybody watching this, yo, I just want to say, yo, these four gentlemen just described a hostile scholastic environment where they feel like they had to like just accept whatever was thrown at them racially and all that. And they didn't have no one to speak up to, no one to go to speak on. So it was like walking through eggshells through their whole school, their school experience, which is not good. You understand what I'm saying? And they're bold enough to take this step right now and speak to all of y'all to bring awareness to the situation. So for the parents that have kids going there, y'all need to get more involved and get at these administrators. Now, Black Westchester, we're gonna call the school, and I'm sure they're gonna give us a song and dance or whatever, but we're gonna call the school and give them a chance to address the situation and make a statement or whatever. I'm not expecting, I'm not expecting much, but we're going to call anyway. But I want to, any parents that are seeing this, that have children going there, or you're thinking about your children going there, I want y'all to take everything that these four gentlemen just said and to consideration and have that conversation before you spend those that whatever it is every month, that large sum of money you got for your kid to go there. Now, I understand you want a better education for your kid, but your kids should not have to be subjected to what these four gentlemen spoke on just for a better education. They deserve a better education. You know what I'm saying? And they shouldn't have to be made to feel like y'all should be grateful for even being here, or that even though their parents are paying, the school doing you a favor for having you there. Like, yo, dude, that's not healthy. And again, I just want to applaud y'all for speaking up. And I got your back right now. You know what I'm saying? Whatever we can do on air or off the air, you know what I'm saying? Let me know. And we're gonna see, we're gonna put some pressure on them and see how they respond to it. You know what I'm saying? But all the parents that are going to watch this, because we're gonna make sure this video gets blasted out all over the place when we put it on blackwestchester.com. And the parents and everybody need to call the school and holler at the school and let them know that this behavior is unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? And demand some kind of change, because that's the only thing. Yo, especially y'all that's spending all this money. Y'all got the power, y'all spending the money. Without the money y'all spending, the school don't exist. The school can't keep going on. So they need you as much as they think that you need them. You know what I'm saying? So to even survive. So again, I just want to applaud y'all for taking the time to do this and stand strong.
Thank you.
And I'm proud to see 4 young Black African-American men, great grades, you know what I'm saying, and bold. And yo, you know what I'm saying? I want that to be the narrative. These are not some knuckleheads, some thugs that got problems everywhere they go. You know what I'm saying? These are good kids. You know what I'm saying? And despite all that they've been through and having no avenue to speak it and to express it, they still thrived in there and got good grades and came out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's impressive to me. That's impressive to me. Huh?
We got alumni. We got alumni one more person.
Come on, bring him on.
He went to Iona, Jamar Edwards. He's the 1 grade ahead of us. And just to prove that this is such a recurring thing, he's class of 2019, we're class of 2020. And if he wants to speak on what he went through at Iona, just regarding race, like,
I mean, I never really went through anything like personally. And it just like saddened me to know that they were like, they couldn't even go to anyone to get help or like to deal with the situation. Like, I feel like we need more diversity in the staff as a staff at Iona, so students feel more comfortable going to teachers. Because to be honest, if I had a problem, I really wouldn't. I would only go to like 2 teachers, Miss Maz and Coach G. That's it.
So that just shows you that. I know that may have been a little extra, but that just shows you that like this is just a problem throughout. Like Keyshawn said, it's throughout classes. It's not just my grade. It's a grade before me. It's a grade 5 grades before me, and so on.
And another reason when the gentleman came to me about y'all coming on, in Westchester County, one of the wealthiest counties in the world, they think racism, systematic racism doesn't exist. You understand what I'm saying? Like they don't think it exists here, not here. This is Westchester. Like, it's going on right here. You know what I'm saying? You hear people protesting all over about things that's going on. We got things going on right here. You know what I'm saying? And these 4 gentlemen were bold enough to speak up. And I applaud y'all and I salute y'all. And anything I could do, go ahead.
I just want to say one more thing. I want everybody to know, all the Black queens out there, all the African American brothers out there, Black is beautiful. Don't let anybody ever try to take your skin color away from you, all right? No matter where you go to, it don't matter where you at, it don't matter where you find yourself at in the next 10, 15 years from now. Black is beautiful. Do not let anybody try to censor you, because at the end of the day, you have a voice. And I want people to know that it's all right if you speak up. It's all right if you say that it's a problem, something's going on. And many parents didn't know about this. And parents, I just want y'all to know that please look at all the facts before you send your kid to that school, because yeah, like you said, Mr. Wilson, change is not gonna happen overnight. And we don't really know if change is really gonna happen or if they say it's gonna happen. You feel me? So
You gotta hold them accountable.
exactly, hold everybody accountable. And me personally, I say names. I hold everybody accountable, and I want people to know the names on who did what to me, who did what to other people. Man, Mr. Mitchell, that global teacher who said, "Oh, which one are you taking to prom?" He's a global teacher. His name is Mitchell. He's been in that school for years. Every teacher talks about his pension that he's gonna have. He knows he's untouchable a little bit.
Mm.
So please, I just want y'all to know, speak up. Don't be scared, honestly, because it's time for a change.
I see a new face, two new people in one of the boxes. Who's this? Would you like to speak? In the box of Jordan's
Oh,
box.
hi, this is Avery Turton's dad, Kevin Turton. How are you?
Were you surprised to hear this? Is this your first time hearing these stories?
This level of those stories, absolutely, it is the first time. I had heard little certain parts and little tangential things, but I'm so glad, number one, that y'all gave the boys a platform to be able to speak about this. But yes, I did learn a lot of much more disturbing things than I was already upset enough to drive from Brooklyn to Westchester about this morning. I don't know if you heard, but I spoke to Coach Spags this morning at length after 2 weeks of talking out online. And he finally did, in fact, reach out to me. And we did ultimately, after I kind of let him have it, and I'm sure the boys kind of might have given some color on that. But after letting him have it for 20 straight minutes, not joking, he did listen carefully. He did come back and not only apologize, acknowledge where he was wrong, claims that he was going to do things going forward. We came to somewhat of an understanding. What disturbed me after all that I just described is when I got here and talked with the boys, they was like, you can't even believe him. You can't even listen to him. He does that all the time. So I am much more disgruntled than upset. So he's a coach of the football team. In general, this ain't about him as a whole, but I did want to point that out. But yeah, he's a coach of the current.
And to everybody, I appreciate that. And to everybody listening, and I always say this on the radio show and on Black Westchester, yo, everything that we've ever got, they didn't give it to us because it was the right thing to do. We had to speak up and stand up and fight for it. And if if you're not being treated right, you want to get treated better, you're gonna have to. Now the students might not be able to do it, but maybe you got to tell your parents so your parents can come and have your back, and your parents can speak on it because they're the ones writing that check, and they give them a certain amount of power. Like, yo, I'm writing this check. They give them the right to speak, and they can speak. The adults you'll have a problem with can't speak to your parents like they can speak to you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm advising anybody listening, definitely tell your parents. And I appreciate you for, saying a couple of words and allowing the boys to do this. Anything we can do, y'all just reach out to us, man. And then
you should be so proud. You should be so proud.
Thank you.
Yes.
He does. And that's all him. I'm just kidding. But he definitely does. And all four of these boys, I'm so proud of them for not just representing themselves in light of all of this, but representing all of their teammates who don't have the opportunity to speak. And, the underclassmen and all of those things. And clearly, like I mentioned, is way bigger than the football program and the coach and all of that. It's really about the school and their issues, which are even deeper sounding than the issues that I encountered when I went to a predominantly white high school many years ago. I thought that was bad until I heard what I heard today. So that's very real to me.
I have one last request. If after this is over, if the guys can just get together and you take a picture of them so I can have it for the website. I'll put all four of them in front of the statue for the website. That would be great. That would be 100. Great. Yes. All right, this is Black Westchester Power Hour, real talk for the community. We're gonna follow this through. And like I said, man, I applaud the young men for speaking up, and I applaud the young men for speaking up. I just can't.
Hey, Mr. Woodson.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to say, Yasmin Cornelius gave me your name.
Yes.
So I just wanted to say thank you to Yasmin.
Yes, yes. Shout out to Yasmin. She brought her son, the football player that came up, Lorraine.
Yeah.
Lorraine?
Johnny.
The football player that came up.
Yeah, Johnny.
And his mother came up and his mother came in the studio at the end. She's the one that referred them to us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. She's good people.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Have a good day.
All right. This is the Black Westchester Power Hour signing off. BlackWestchester.com, giving you that real talk for the community and news with
Thank
the
you,
Black
Mr.
point
Wilson.
of view.
Appreciate
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And until next time, peace.
All right, peace.
We are off this.